Hey guys, Kev here, and I'm ready to do my full review on the Holt Bladeworks Haptic. Guys, this has been a fantastic journey. It's been a fantastic experience to have bought this knife, or actually traded for it, and review it. And yeah, it's just been a pleasure, and yeah, I'm just excited to get into the review. So I have my Dock Street here, and I have my On the Edge mug. We will be going live tomorrow night, April 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern. You won't know about that because you're going to be watching this in the future. But should be a good time. Kyle's getting his new mat. It's going to be awesome. Well, hopefully he'll have it. But anyway, the Haptic, guys. So backstory on this beauty is that I've been interested in them. I've always thought that Holts were kind of an unattainable level of knife for me since I got into the hobby. Like the Holt Spectre was like the holy grail of knives, right? And as I kind of, have grown with collecting and things over the last year, other knives have become more attainable, and you kind of climb the ranks a little bit in terms of what you're spending. You kind of combine things you've bought and then buy one bigger thing, or you just spend more money or whatever. It's just the way it works in the collection world. Unless you stick with the budget stuff, then you're going to have like 300 budget knives. Like a lot of people have those type of collections, and they always tell me, like, dude, and I don't have some great collection, but they're like, man, you got all those high premium knives. They're like, I got like 400 knives, but I don't think I have anything worth. And it's like, dude, take 200 of them, sell them, and you could buy 20 really nice knives. Like, I don't know. So that's just kind of what I've learned, and personally, that's been my path with it, right? And I've always thought of Holt as this really, really good company, the epitome of production knives, right? Absolutely fantastic CNC work. It's a husband and wife team, Angie, and I don't know the name of the husband. I've spoken to Angie on email a little bit. She's very nice, very friendly. I really enjoyed that chat. Yeah, just a cool company. And they came out with the Spectre first. And then the Haptic dropped, I think, last year sometime. And that's what they're focusing on now is the Haptic. Both of those knives are very similarly shaped in terms of the handle. They're both flipper only. This is the kind of warny sheep's foot Haptic. And then the Spectre, I think, is more like a drop point. And it's slightly larger than this. And I'm still interested in a Spectre. I might try to get one at some point if I can. Those are a little bit harder to get, and they tend to be more pricey. These go for like anywhere from $900 to $975 new, and on the secondary market, they're pretty good right now. You can get them anywhere from that table price to like $1,200. I traded for this one with a buddy that I met through Reddit, Sruli. He's a good dude. He sent me some knives to review when the channel was really young, so I really appreciate Sruli for that. He sent his SOCOM Elite and his Skaha too. Those are some early videos. And I traded him 3 knives. So I traded the Vero Impulse full size, the Vero Mini Impulse belt satin, and the Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon. And I would make that trade 100 times over and over. It was totally worth it to me to trade those 3 for this knife. Plus, I got 150 cash. We did the deal at basically table price of what each knife would cost new retail. And then we kind of figured it out from there. My knives were worth, I don't know, $1,100 or so. And this was like $950. So I got like $150 back in the deal. But anyway, I'm very happy I made that trade. Let's take a look at the Holt Haptic, guys. This version right here which is another really cool thing about Holt. They give you that Solinco card, and you basically just hold it up to your phone, and a thing pops up. You click it, takes you to a web page where it tells you the specs of your knife. My knife here is the nude version, so there's no ano anywhere on this knife. It is S90V steel with their Stonewash 2.0, they call it, I think. Fantastic finish on this knife. It's a stonewash, but almost looks like a satin. It is absolutely just fantastically done. Then the handles here are burnished in the nude. And it's a sea breeze pattern. So you'll see the micro milling there kind of swirls like waves. And then they have another version called Quill, which is more just like straight lines. So yeah. So that's kind of the model I have. I'm really happy I got the S90V. You can see it right there on top of the blade, S90V, hopefully. And I'm glad because this is an EDC knife. This is a kind of, I hate the word gentleman's carry, but it's kind of that type of knife where you're not going to abuse the shit out of it, right? You're not going to take it out in the woods and beat on it. You could probably, but you're not going to do that. So S90V makes perfect sense. It has unbelievable edge retention. It's relatively stainless, and it's not the toughest knife in the world or steel in the world. So it will chip and stuff, from what I understand. But this isn't the type of knife you're going to do stuff that's going to chip it, right? So it kind of makes sense for this type of steel or knife. They also do 20CV and M390. I have heard that the S90V is going to be discontinued. So it's kind of cool that I have one. But yeah, you have this kind of sheep's footy Warren Cliff blade with your tip down here. It has this really cool swedge right up here that goes into this jimping, which is extremely well done. It is very comfortable. It's not too strong and it's not too light. It's just really good jimping. And then you have a kind of curved handle to the back here. This backspacer has a chevron pattern in it, which is cool. Goes down to a kind of rounded butt. And then you have a kind of straight right here into a choil. Your flipper tab, which has some jimping down here that we just saw. And then your blade starts here, right? And I think originally I thought maybe that the Spectre was a better looking knife. I've always kind of been a drop point over Warney guy, but this isn't that kind of a Warney. This is more like a sheep's footy Warney, so I really do like it. Getting it in person, I had one of these on loan for my buddy Alex. He let me check it out, and that really was the like factor that made me want to get it. Like I told myself when I did that review or that unboxing, because that's all I did. I unboxed it and I mentioned that he was selling it and somebody was like, I want it. So I shipped it off for him. I wasn't going to hang on to it and do the whole review process. Some guy just spent $900, you know. But I told myself, like, I don't need that knife. I just kind of like, I can't afford it, right? And I just kind of put it out of my mind. But it was so good that when an opportunity came up, and it wasn't that I was really hunting one of these. It was that I was talking to Sruli, and I kind of just had it on my mind, and he had one and was trying to trade it for something better. Like, he wanted, like, a Spectre. And I just said, hey, man, I have some Viros, and I'd probably move those for one. And we just worked it out, and it just happened. And I am so glad it did. Again, so this is the Malibu Warney. If it had that kind of blade, I don't think I would like it. This is kind of ugly to me. It's just kind of like a witch's nose, just like a crook nose. This has a little bit more intricacy to it, a little more stuff going on out here. And then you have that nice swedge and the jimping there. It's just, I don't know, it's almost a blend between the reverse Tanto and the Warney Malibu, right? Very similar knives. I compared these when I had that when I did that unboxing, and I basically said the Haptic is the rich man's Malibu, or the Malibu is the poor man's Haptic, and I still stand by that. they are so similar in so many ways. They both have drop shut action. They both fire out really well. Obviously, the machining and stuff like that is much more premium on this, titanium, all that good stuff. Whereas this is aluminum, but ProTech does a fantastic job. And I kind of convinced myself I didn't need this, right? But I'm so glad that I picked it up. I'm going to stop saying that now. But I love the look of it. Ergonomically, it is very comfortable in my hand. It is just the ever slightest bit too small. Not too small, but small for my hand. Again, when I initially unboxed the first one, I said this grip would be absolutely perfect for somebody with slightly smaller hands. And I still think that's true, but it is still very, very comfortable for me. I could hold it like this all day and cut with it all day, and that is not a problem at all. The jimping is very good. So ergos are fantastic on this knife. The cutting. So I cut with this knife. I specifically took this outside when I was doing some cardboard cutting because I don't normally get to do that. Normally I just shove everything in the recycle because I have a big ass recycle thing. But we had all this stuff and I had to cut up boxes, and I was like, yes, let me bring the Haptic. Or no, it was in my pocket. It was in my pocket that day, and I always say I don't have safe queens. I would use whatever knife is in my pocket. And I had this knife and the Arcform Slimfoot on me, and I used those knives. I posted some video on Instagram with me cutting it. It was a terrible video, but where I was cutting with this, and it is an extremely good cutter. It has a hollow grind on it. This S90V comes down to a very thin edge. It is very well done. It's almost like a mirror edge on there. And it just slices through like butter. You do get held up a little bit up here by the swedge and everything where it thickens up, but it's very minuscule in that sense. I think when I was cutting through the cardboard, I had one cut where I kind of got like stuck a little, and I just had to readjust and slide through. And it cut right through. I mean, it cuts like a dream. It really is exceptional for being more of like an artsy piece, right? They put a good, solid edge on this. There's good geometry on the blade. So very solid there. Carry. This is one of the few right-handed knives that I'll just carry in my front left. The detent on this is dialed so perfectly. I'm not afraid of it accidentally opening up in my pocket or something like that. So I carry this in my front left. Another reason for that is because I don't want it to get damaged. And my back left is a little more dangerous because I tend to just plop down and like drag my clips across shit. And you guys have seen my Instagram post where I have ruined a couple clips by now. I even broke a knife. But yeah, it carries very well. I mean, the clip goes in and out. The knife goes in and out very well. It sits very deep. It is very comfortable. I have not had any issues with the carry. I did scratch the clip up a little bit, like right there. I don't know if you can see that little scratch. I think I dropped the knife like the first night I had it. Got it over with, right? To me, right now, this is a keeper knife. And if I sell it, it'll be sold as a knife that was carried. It's not going to be a like new in box, right? Because I use my shit. Like, I'm not a heavy user, but I use my shit, right? Sounds, guys. This thing sounds incredible. I mean, if you get it just right and get in the right rhythm, you get like a double click on the deployment and then a double click on the close. Oh, it's just so good. The sounds are top notch. I mean, it's like a 9 out of 10 on sounds. 10 being like mind blowing, right? That leaves us with action right now. So again, you saw that. I mean, the detent is just so good. This is out of the box detent. I have not. You can tune this. They give you a thing, and it's a tunable detent. You can make it lighter or stronger, but the way they send it is absolute money. It is strong enough that it flies out every time. You're not going to fail it, right? But it's not too strong that it hurts after a while. I could play with this all day, and it just feels amazing, guys. And then the close you saw there, I mean, boop, boop. I play this game where I try to see how fast I can get my thumb in there, disengage the lock bar, and get it out and let it drop. Like, I see how quick I can do that. It is so much fun to play with this knife, guys. I have contended that flipper only is not the thing for me sometimes, but I'm on a flipper binge right now. I've picked up like 5 flipper knives in the last couple of weeks, so ebbs and flows, guys. Ebbs and flows. Action is absolutely stupendous on this knife. 10 out of 10. And it comes with steel caged steel bearings, which boggles the mind for a $900 knife. And when I did the disassembly, I tried to put Gillian bearings in it, and I had a little trouble with the steel washer they have against the show side here. It kept not wanting to seat and fall off, so I went back to the regular washers or bearings. After the video, I got determined, and I did it again, and I got them to fit easily. Like, so it was just me on camera, I don't know. So I got the Gillian salt and pepper bearings in there, 1/4 inch by 1/16, and guys, it's not maybe that the action is better. Like, it fell shut like this before, right? But I was able to crank the pivot down, not crank, but tighten the pivot down to almost entirely, like, tight, right? It's just maybe 1/8 of a turn off. There is absolutely no blade play in this sucker. That pivot has not walked once. And it just drops shut like this. I mean, this is how this knife should come, with Gillian bearings in it. My buddy Jake, Bearded Gear, he got one as well, like the same week I did, which tends to happen a lot with knives, because we talk a lot. So we talk about the same knives, and then we get it in our head, or I don't know. Or one of us gets one, the other one, you know, I don't know. He had some issues with his. The pivot would walk. He got blade play. And whatever. I didn't really have those issues. I just wanted to have better bearings in it. And I wanted to be able to tighten the pivot more. Because I noticed when I first got it, I had to kind of like perfectly tune the pivot to where there was no play. It would drop shut. Like centering. So I like to replace my knives or my bearings with those good ones. Because you usually get better lateral strength on the pivot. Which means less blade play. And a tighter pivot. But you still get the good action. So it's just a no-brainer to me. So I told him to get them. And he ordered them. And he posted his video today installing them. And the knife has been flawless ever since. The pivot hasn't walked. It drops shut. There's no blade play. Like, Gillian bearings are the real deal, guys. I'm not going to tell you you have to put them in your Holt Haptic. Because I don't want to void your warranty. I don't know their policy. I asked, but I never got an answer from Angie on that. So, but I can recommend them for sure. But I'm not a lawyer. Don't hold it against me if something happens. But they fit. I don't know. Whatever. So, I absolutely recommend a $20 upgrade to your $1,000 knife. Like, why not? I will say I struggled with centering on this guy at first. I have it dead center at this point. The tip is at the dead center mark. And I have those bearings in there. Again, pivot's not walking. It's just absolutely flawless. It's just so good. And you can tell because I've been rambling this whole video. This is not a concise review, guys. So value. You know, it's $975 new. That's basically the value I had when I got it. But it was trade value, not cash. I think it is worth every penny of $900. There's plenty of knives that cost $500-600 that maybe aren't worth $500-600, but American-made knives with American steel, a husband and wife team, a very sought-after product with extremely good machining quality, tolerances, QC, fit and finish, just overall an absolute masterpiece is what this is. It is worth that money. And I know that it sucks to hear because nobody wants to spend that much money, but this is a $900 knife. I can attest to this being a $900 knife. Does that mean it's the best knife ever? No. For me right now, it's one of them. The F5.5, and the CKF Evo 2.0 are the top three for me. It's just so good. But I will say, if you're looking for something similar, maybe not the same blade shape or whatever, but similar size, similar in action, just things like that, but you don't want to spend $1,000, check out the Tuya NV2. I just got this in today, and I am blown away by Dave Warren's design. That detent is so good. The action is so smooth. This is like right out of the box, so it hasn't even broken in yet. I did drop a little KPL in there, but look at that. I am very, very impressed by this knife, guys. It has a compound grind, hollow and flat up at the tip. Action. I mean, this is a hell of a knife for $200. Okay, just saying. So if you need something similar and you're trying to, see if you would like a haptic, maybe, good choice. The Malibu, good choice. Maybe the titanium one, I don't know. And there's plenty of other ones, but I just wanted to show this one because I just got it, and it's absolutely incredible. So, yeah, guys, recommendations. I can recommend this to anybody who can afford one or wants one, whatever. Left-handed, right-handed, I don't think this is really a problem left-handed because it's a liner lock. That's what drew me in. It's a liner lock, but it's the best liner lock I've ever held in my life. It works so flawlessly. It's just such a good, well-made liner lock. I can't stress enough how good this knife is. If you could ever get the opportunity to get one in hand or have a loaner, check one out. I mean, seriously, give it a shot and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, guys, very, very positive. Leftability. Yeah. So, like I was saying, very great for lefties. I mean, this is, for a right-handed knife, I mean, this is like a 9 out of 10 for leftability. If we're counting lefty knives in that, okay, then maybe it's like a 7, okay? But it's so good, right-handed or left-handed. It's just as satisfying, honestly. I have a blast playing with this either way. It cuts well. It carries well. It sounds awesome. It looks incredible, and it feels good. It's a home run, guys. That is the Holt Bladeworks Haptic. I absolutely love you guys. I appreciate you letting me rant and rave about this one. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.